Okay, so this is where we ended on Friday. Okay? Now, sorry, and then we started with example 3. We said, no, but I mean, we only got up until there. Yeah. Sit vinnig gaan skryf. Late again, eh? 10 to the power of x is then the same as 1 over 1,000. No, so that decimal I first made into a fraction. Now from there, I want to write that in terms of exponents. So 1 over 1,000 is the same as 10 to the power of minus 3. Do you guys agree? If you wanted, you could have first said 1 over 10 to the power of 3. And then because I take that to the top, it becomes minus 3. Does that make sense? Okay, right. Now from there, you can see that bases are the same on both sides. So now I can get, or only look at exponents. So x will therefore be minus 3. Does that make sense? Huh? Okay, on Friday, were you also lost?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go, yeah?
What happened to that 10 then? Is that the left side?
This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hold on. Who's not with me up until there? Okay, so when we have a decimal, we cheat by using our calculator. Take out your calculator. We know that we first have to write that decimal in the form of a fraction. So what we do is we put that decimal into our calculator. So 0,001 and then press the equal sign. Does it now give it in the form of a fraction? If it does not, does yours do it?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you go to war without a gun? Huh? How do you go to war without a gun? That's like going to math class without a calculator.
I bring my knife.
No, I flipped it. Listen. Okay, so if you put it in, never come to class without your calculator again. If you put it in, it automatically gives you the fraction form. If it doesn't, all you do is press the SD button. Nee? Slim dom knoppie. Okay, now, once we get up until here, then that 1 over 1,000, and those that were unsure, please now have a look. I know because of that 10 on the left-hand side, I also want 10 to the power of something. But this 1 over 1,000 is the same as 1 over 10 to the power of, count the zeros, 1, 2, 3. Okay, but now I have that. On the left-hand side, my base is 10, but on the right-hand side, I still have a fraction. So what I do is I want to get rid of that fraction. I want it also to be a whole number. So I take this to the top. And then it becomes 10 to the power of minus 3. Yes. Does it now make sense so far? Okay. Now I want you to see 10 to the power of 10 to the power of. Can you see bases are the same? Now, when we get there, it means we can only look at exponents. So this x will be equal to minus 3. Does it now make sense? Okay. Anyone? Is jy nou by? Okay. Anyone else? Good. Right. But do you want a copy? No. Oh, you don't want this anymore. Okay. Right. Example 4. Remember, I made you guys write down those rules. Right? So step 1 was, let me just skip back to that. Oh, it's even further back. Step 1 was simplify using BODMAS. No, okay, now according to BODMAS, I've got to sort out my brackets first. But could I say 3 times 5? No. Why not? Because that to the power of x only applies to the 5. It's got nothing to do with that 3. So I can't go multiply these two. No. Okay. So it's the same as like saying 3 and then that whole thing is my unknown. Okay. So I can't split these two up. All right. So my next step, if I can't simplify using BODMAS, my next step was unknowns to the left, normal numbers to the right. Okay. So meaning this minus 1, I want to move over, right? Okay. So then 3 times the bracket is equal to this and then plus 1. So it will become 375. Okay. Now, once we took unknowns to the left, normal numbers to the right, what was my next step? Coefficient. Now, the coefficient is this. Remember we said it's almost the same as 3 and then that bracket is x? No? So I want to get rid of that 3. No? Now that's 3 times the bracket. So if I take it over, it's going to become divided by 3. So 5 to the power of x will be this divided by 3. And how much does that give me? 125. No? Now, next I can work with my exponents. But what do you guys see? I can get my basis the same, no? Because 125 is the same as 5 to the power 3. So 5 to the power of x is equal to 5 to the power of 3. And now you'll see bases are both 5. So I can go say x is equal to 3. Does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I skip? Okay. Do you get a mark for this one, then for that, and then for this? Got hands up, you're still copying? Tell me when you're done, please. Okay. Right. Next one. 2x to the power of 5 plus 9. Okay. So we said unknowns to the left, normal numbers to the right. So what do we take over first? The 9. Okay. So if I take that 9 over, it would be 73 minus 9. And how much does that give me? Good. Okay. Now, next step. Coefficient. So get rid of the 2. So if I take the 64 and I say divided by 2. Ag kyk nou hoe skryf. Ek sê 64 but I say I get 32. Now, what do we do? Because now my unknown is the base. People, what's the opposite of a square? Square root. What's the opposite of to the power 3? Cube root. So opposite of to the power 5 will be fifth root. Do you guys get that? So x will then be equal to fifth root of 32. And that is 2. Does everyone know how to get that fifth root on your calculator?
Yes.
Huh? Okay, so for those of you that don't, your square root is over here. No? But, nou moet ek gou kyk. 2 to the right on my calculator. Just above that pattern in yellow, it gives you one that looks like this. A little block, and then a root and a block. No? So to get that yellow, I've got to say shift and then that one. And then you go fill in over here the 5 and over there the 32. Just check if you can get that, please. Right, everyone fine? Can I skip? Not skip, can I carry on? Okay, right. So, keeping that in mind, what did we say? What would be the opposite of that exponent?
Times.
If it was to the power of 2, it was a square root. If it was to the power of 3, cube root. To the power of 4, fourth root. To the power of 5, fifth root. To the power of a half a root. No? Okay. So, you're going to say x will be equal to no half root of 100. Now go put that into your calculator.
How do you put that in?
Okay, so again, we say shift and then that block, but then fraction, a half, 10,000. Yes. Check if you guys get it. Okay, so your answer here will be 10,000. Okay, you guys good?
So x is equal to the power of 10,000.
So what if I got, wait. Okay, so you guys are fine with these, no? Okay. Homework? Exercise 9.2. Listen, you're only going to do number 1 and 2. At number 1, you will see the x is at the exponent. So you will use the examples like we had in example 1 up until 4. Then at number 2, the unknown, the x, is a base. So then we will use like we did at example 5 and 6. Okay. Right, you guys can get started on that and then I'll call your names.